Stop chasing, man. Y'all get on in here, all right? Y'all get on in here. Got a lot to discuss on this beautiful Sunday, all right? For all that are new, welcome, all right? I need you to do one thing for me before we get started on this live. Woo! Hit that like button for me, all right? I'm never going to gatekeep levels, never going to gatekeep any pertinent information that you need to be successful. So please do not gatekeep the likes. That helps get into the algorithm and get to more people that need this information. All right, we're gonna go over the 3 stocks that I see doing really well this week. And then we're also gonna turn it over to you guys to show me what stocks you've been looking at, and I can analyze them and let you know which ones are gonna make some pretty significant moves. All right? How y'all feeling today? Who we got up in here? Who we got up in here? P, what up, man? Lock-in time, you already know. Best Beezy in the building. He said when something's moving, it's harder to. You already know, Wise. Doop. CD, what up? What up? Liz, how you feeling? You said, did I get your message? I saw you posted something in the group. Did you send me a direct message? Because I responded to the message in the group, and I said that I would check it out. But if you sent me something privately, I might not have seen that yet. Amani, how you feeling? How y'all feeling? Y'all get on in here. All right, we got a lot to discuss. We got some opportunities brewing in the market. We got some things that could be really explosive this week, and we're gonna talk about each of those. Big Sean, what up? How you feeling? KDHK, how you doing? All right, y'all get on in here. I know it's a Sunday. I know it's a little late. I know a lot of y'all relaxing. I know a lot of y'all might be trying to watch the Oscars and all this stuff. But guess what? We got money to be made, right? There's money to be made out there. We got some setups that we need to go over. You can get back to whatever you're doing, but let's keep you know what I mean? Like, let's keep the focus, right? Jamie, what up? How you feeling? Don G, what up? What up? Doop, doop, doop. You already know. Trent, what's going on, man? Tish, how you feeling? QTZ in the building. All right, now y'all starting to pour in here. How was y'all weekend? Let me know how y'all weekend went. Let me know how y'all weekend went. She said, this is the Oscars, right? Exactly. Hey, because look, this is the Oscars because all of this is for entertainment purposes only, right? Which leads me to the fact that I am not a financial advisor. I cannot possibly be giving you financial advice, all right? Any decision that you make to get into a trade is because you're using your brain, you're using your own due diligence and research and choosing from there, not because this guy is online talking about it. All right? I figured that was a good little segue. Jamie, what up? What up? What up? D. Clark, how you feeling? I'm feeling good today, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Today been a little vibe. I mean, I'm out in the desert right now. You know what I mean? Just vibing. This is somewhere I come every now and then to just kind of like relax and just get some just quiet beyond just the house, right? Like quiet, like even you go outside at night and you feel the elements, you hear, you know what I mean? Like the little creatures in the background, and really get to just kind of like reconnect with Earth. So that's what I've been doing. I've been, just chilling, been cooking a little bit. I made some if y'all in the group, I might drop a couple photos. I be getting in my cooking bag sometimes. All right. So when I'm feeling like I need to ground myself, cooking is one of the best things that I do to kind of ground myself. So what I made, like I made some vegan spaghetti the other night. This morning I made some avocado toast. I won't give y'all the secrets because I might have to take you out if I do that. But I put some stuff in the avocado toast. I'll give you a little bit. I put the little sprouts on the top, sourdough bread. You know what I mean? I can't tell you everything, but it might be one of the best avo toast you ever taste. All right, tonight I'm thinking about doing like I don't know, like some sort of like maybe like a quinoa with like some sauteed mushrooms, some broccolini. You know what I mean? Simple stuff. He said very earth sign. Right. We're not here for advice. We're here to watch you trade. Maybe we might do the same. Exactly, right? Ain't no advice here. You know, doing good, taking it easy. Watching this post. There we go, Jamie. That's all. That's all this is. This ain't nothing but a show. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. I'm good to see. It's good to see y'all. I'm glad to hear that y'all have also had some good weekends. So we're gonna jump into the charts, and I'm going to flip the chart. I'm gonna flip to the chart so that I'm not talking. If y'all can't see the chart. All right, so we're about to do that now. All right, cool. Y'all let me know if y'all can see this chart. And get a couple yeses, and we can start. Y'all can see it. Yeah, maybe like I said, maybe for TPC, I might drop a few of the photos, little meal inspirations. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can see what we doing. All right, cool. So we're gonna go over the three stocks that I'm looking at this week. We can start with Tesla, right? Tesla's real simple. All right, Tesla it has been in this downtrend for quite some time. We're looking at this on a daily. It initiated its downtrend at the end of December. All right, and it's just been just falling ever since. Falling. A bear flag creation, fell some more, came back, retested that top level, fell some more, came back, retested the trend line, fell some more, came back, retested the trend line, fell some more, came back and retested the trend line. That's low key a tongue twister. Fell down, retested the trend line. That's low key a tongue twister. And it kept doing the same thing. It even tried to break above the trend line, but it had this huge shadow or this big wick right here, which pushed it down a little bit more. So now that you can see, I have my trend line drawn down to the order block, and it looks like Tesla is starting to run out of space, right? Tesla is starting to run out of space. So what I'm suspecting is that this week we may get some sort of exhaustion to the downside. This area here is going to be really critical. Now, the area, this zone or whatever, it's pretty wide though. It's like what? Let's see. It's about 369 to about 383. So, we're talking about what? About 14, $15, right? So that's a pretty decent area or zone for some sort of like reversal to take place. So we're not going to, front run anything. I'm not going to, prematurely get into anything on Tesla, but I am going to finally start watching for a reversal because this is a really good area for it to do that. All right. So even if we get, like a major move down, I'm waiting for a nice reversal here and then the confirmation. All right. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to stretch this trend line a little bit further so that I can make sure that we are on point for when it does reverse. All right. So maybe I'll make it a little bit further, but I just want to make sure that I'm catching it, like at the breakout. If the breakout, man, listen, if the breakout takes place in the order block, Pluto. All right. So that's what I'm waiting on Tesla. So I don't have like an exact level for you guys just yet, but that will be updated throughout the week as we study this price action. All right. If we get the breakout somewhere down here, right? So this could take a few days. This could be towards the end of the week. Oh man, that would be perfect. That would be perfect. Or if we get a breakout here, or a reversal here, and then the breakout somewhere around here, that still works. And then obviously, first target would be the most recent high, which is this little swing high right here. And then once it breaks through that, then we can take it to about 431.50, which is the start of the bearish order block. All right, so that's Tesla. The other stock that I'm looking at is Nvidia. We talked about this on Friday. I was debating whether I was going to get into it or not, but I didn't want to be in too many positions. But man, this looks really good. I went ahead over the weekend and drew the measured move on the outside of the breakdown, So I just simply, for those who are, who are new and don't understand like how bear flags and bull flags get their targets, you simply just take the distance of that down move and you measure it out just using a trend line. You draw you a straight line, and then you move it over to the breakout or the anticipated breakout of that particular flag. So with this bear flag, the anticipation is that it's going to break out, sometime tomorrow or Tuesday, and once it breaks out, it can come all the way down to about 158. Will it happen all in one day? Probably not. Will it happen in a couple of days? Probably not. Will it happen within a week? We'll see. But this is ultimately where it wants to come. Okay, so once it can break through this bullish order block right here and start to break down a little bit more and even come down here, then obviously this target will be more into play. But if we open tomorrow slightly bullish, and then we flip that one inside candle to a two candle by breaking previous day lows, oh, this could fall pretty hard. And then obviously the swing low would be the first target. So like somewhere like right around here, about 175, somewhere in that area, would be the first target. And then we could see how it performs from there. That would be where the majority of the profits would be taken. Also, because it's in an order block, it's like if it gets down there, you don't want to get caught up in this overnight, and then something happening and it shoots up. Okay, so if this does flip, we want to try to get in and get out of this before market close. So we want to take the 2 down candle and ride that to our target or almost to our target, and take the profits that we can get. All right, but I do like this setup. Again, I didn't take it on the swing, but I do like it intraday if we get that candle flip to a 2 on the daily. I'll be looking at lower time frames like the 30, 15 for precise entries, but once we break that, it's a go. All right. And last but not least, what did I have? What was the other one? Hold on, I gotta go look at my watch list. I can't remember what the other one was. Oh, Google. It was Google. So Google could potentially fall hard, right? Again, y'all, we still are in this head and shoulders pattern. No matter how awkward it looks, it's still a head and shoulders. All right, we got the left shoulder right here. We got the head up here. We got the right shoulder over here, and then the neckline is right here. We have not gotten a break and close below it. We've opened below and then came up and closed up here, but we haven't gotten a bearish close below the neckline yet. When we do that, it's going to want to come down to this first target of about 289. You can write that down, right? Once we break out of the previous day lows, it's going to want to come to about 289. If it can break 289, then it's going to want to come and test the top of this fair value gap, which is right around 280, right? 280.50, somewhere in that area. All right. And then from there, the next move is going to be a test of 50% of the fair value gap, and then a full close of that fair value gap. So during this play, there could be multiple opportunities to, one, enter and also take profits if you get in early after the breakdown. So again, target one, majority of the contracts will come off, but again, you'll have another opportunity to ride this down into the fair value gap. Some decisions will be made right here. People may, start buying it up there for a bounce, and it may be invalidated, or it may continue through the fair value gap, in which you could get even more gains. All right, but this is what I'm watching. This is a pretty cool setup. It's been struggling to go higher. It has broken out of this this little short-term uptrend that it had, and it stayed below this trend line for quite some time. It reversed and created like a little confirmation here. It also did fill this fair value gap here too. So the next thing we're waiting for is the next move down. And again, if it can break this level and close, I like it a lot. All right. So those are the three that I'm looking at. Y'all. We got Google, right? We got Nvidia and we got Tesla. All right, let's see. Thanks for the lift notes last week. Let's see. One hand, watch the. See, I love how y'all working together as a community. I love to see it. You say you've been eating off Google. Listen. Google gonna get you right. Nice sign. What up, man? How you feeling? All right. Now it's on y'all. This is I went through the three watch list stocks that I had. Now just send what y'all have, and we can go give that a quick look. See if there's anything that anything in there that stands out. And if there is, then we might have some setups for the week that I can signal. Um, Again, we got to see how things transpire. Anytime we go into a weekend, there's always like something that takes place that can like kind of impact the market. Also, y'all, I'm dropping a video after this live. Go. This might be one of the most important videos that I've created, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you go watch it. All right. This is going to save you so much money if you don't know these things. Most people do not know this about the market. Most people do not know these characteristics about the market. These things will save you if you implement them. Okay? So that video will be posting pretty soon. All right, what y'all got for me? AVGO, let's get to it. All right, AVGO. Let's see. Again, if y'all are just joining this broadcast, man, hit that like button for me one time. That's all I need. I'm never going to gatekeep levels or information. Do not gatekeep those likes, right? Stop sitting there on the couch or the desk, wherever you at, guarding that. Stand and guard the light. We let the light go. Hit it. Hit it right now. I wish I could hit like twice to make up for some of the people that just be on here getting all this game and refuse to hit the like button. I wish we had people that could hit it like 3 times. You know what I'm saying? But such is life. All right. So AVGO, we are currently bouncing at this fair value gap. This is a pretty bearish candle. It engulfs the previous candle. It's just testing this fair value gap right here. So we'll see tomorrow how this ultimately fares. Again, we may have a really good opportunity to like catch it inside, right? Catch it inside this fair value gap intraday, and make some decent money if it checks out on like a lower time frame. Like we might get like a 3-2 setup on a 30-minute that can definitely justify this being another like bearish day. All right. So that first hour is going to be critical, in the day tomorrow. In terms of swings on this, I wouldn't really be interested in this until it came down back into this bullish order block to retest. It is in a pretty tight range right now. Not tight range, but it's in a range for sure. All right, but I'd be definitely interested in playing the bottom side of this range to the upside once it comes into this order block. So, I would put just 307 as a notification for this to possibly start to reverse. Anything before that, like I said, you can catch it on the intraday, but swinging it, there would be a very little reward to risk ratio, so it wouldn't be worth your time. All right. What else I got for me? Yeah, we still good with Starbucks. We in it. We just gotta let the market open tomorrow, and then we'll see from there what the next move is. All right. All right. Ulta Beauty. Ulta Beauty. Major gap down. What happened with Ulta? Ulta Beauty and entry price resets. Okay, it had bad profits. Okay, it missed profits. It gapped down, created this huge fair value gap. Let's see something real quick. Let's see how far down this came. This came down pretty substantially. Okay, currently down 25%. It's currently down 25% with this huge gap right here. It has closed this gap with this move right here, so this gap is taken care of. Yeah, this looks like it's melting down pretty bad. With a profit miss, typically a stock when a stock gaps down from earnings or gaps up from earnings, if it doesn't immediately close that gap, it could spend a couple weeks like going in the direction that it dropped in. So we could see this come down even further, possibly to this order block. You know what I mean? Before it has any sort of support. So yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what it does tomorrow. Again, if we get some sort of like bullish open and then like a fake out and then a break below previous day lows, it could want to come and fill this fair value gap down to 527, possibly lower depending on if it picks up momentum. So yeah, right now the sentiment is bearish, but again, we just got to wait for the right opportunity to possibly take entries. You got to be sure that this doesn't want to correct itself early on. All right, so you can be sure by if it comes back and retests the fair value gap and fails, that shows that it's not quite ready. Or if it opens up bullish and then it breaks, breaks previous day lows and makes an even lower low. All right, so this looks pretty cool. There could be a really good opportunity for puts on this. All right. All right. Again, man, y'all hit that like button one time for me. Doop! He's like, commit to 2 to 3 stocks a day, but only trade one times after that I'm done. CNC for a bounce weekly bullish order block has no resistance until. Okay, Tony, let's see what you're talking about. CNC, you said on a weekly. Let's look at CNC. Let's see. Centene Corporation. Yeah. On a daily, it got this inside candle. Yeah. On a weekly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a nice setup. This could look this could go tomorrow for real. This could go tomorrow for real. I would actually prefer that this didn't gap up. Like if this doesn't gap up and maybe even opens up like like somewhere around like $34 or something like that. Yeah, this could be really nice. Yep, solid one right here. Because even this is another way to look at it, right? So even if the sentiment is bearish, right? Like even if this wants to continue coming down through this order block, right? This kind of move, right? Major momentum created this first fair value gap or inefficiency. Continuation created two more inefficiencies. It's starting to bounce at the order block. It creates an inside candle. We know a 2-1 setup is a reversal. You get the one inside of the two, it's a reversal. It's happening at the order block. So if we don't gap up and this is going to want to go up regardless, right? We can go up as high as like really up here retesting this area and it could still be considered like a bear flag. So even creating a version of a pullback, you can take that trade, right? You can ride the pullback up, and this is signaling that wants to happen. We'll find out up here if it's more than just a pullback. But man, we could get to the top of this fair value gap pretty quickly, just on this momentum from a bounce right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this opened up pretty high tomorrow, unless there was some sort of like geopolitical influence on the market. But outside of that, this should pop. So this is solid. I'll actually write this down for something that I keep my eye on. But yeah, CNC looks really good. CNC looks really good. I like that. Shout out to Shout out to who was that did that one? Shout out to Tony for that, yo. All right, so EOW. Dow? I'm tripping. Again, technically, this looks like a great setup to come down. Technically, right? But again, dealing with anything dealing with oil, you know what I mean? You can get so caught up in that, right? By the changes that we can't necessarily anticipate. So yeah, tomorrow, depending on how things open, this could be a good like intraday trade, right? This is supposed to get its confirmation day tomorrow. So, at minimum, we could come and retest this support right here, which also happens to be 50% into the fair value gap, which is usually like a target. Once something breaks into the fair value gap. So if we get some sort of a break of you know Friday's lows and we start making our way into this fair value gap, it's safe to say that you could ride it down to about 35.50, which is the center of the fair value gap, 50%. Right, for that first target, you could get in, make your money, and be done with it, and not even have to worry about it on a swinging basis. All right, so yeah, Dow looks good to the downside. Definitely something to pay attention to on an intraday basis tomorrow. All right. So yeah, shout out to Don G on that one. He said Ozempic messed up the makeup game. Hey, go ahead. He said I traded over. Okay, y'all, you funny, bro. All right, PANW. Let's get it. Again, y'all, let's get these likes up. Hit that like button for me one time. Doop! All right. Palo Alto Networks definitely looks like it's exhausted to the upside. A reversal is imminent, right? It's right here on the horizon. So we could see tomorrow we get some sort of break of previous day lows. And again, that first target, if we do get the reversal confirmation tomorrow, is going to be down here at the top of this fair value gap, which is 167. So we just got to watch this one. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if this opened up bearish, but this definitely has exhausted itself to the upside, right? 50% of this fair value gap right here. It went and tested, and it failed, created a fail two up. We should see the confirmation candle tomorrow. The confirmation may not come all the way down here, but we may get confirmation that comes to about maybe right here, 163.70, and then the next day we'll see it come down to the fair value gap and beyond. All right. So yeah, this looks good on a bearish sentiment. All right, we just got to pay attention to this intraday to see precisely where we should enter. And again, if we look at it on a swing basis, if we get the confirmation tomorrow by close, this would be something that's prime to take. All right, so y'all could already put that on y'all radar for tomorrow's live. All right. Trips me out hearing people are done for the day in that first. Listen, nice sign. That's what it's all about, man. Again, this video I'm about to drop is going to walk you through the different phases of the market. But yeah, that first hour essentially is that's institutional positioning is what it's called, right? Institutions are positioning themselves within that first hour, and if if we get certain confirmations within that first hour, that typically dictates the direction for a good part of the day. And then there's the midday consolidation, right? And then there's the afternoon or closing rebalancing that takes place. So it's like a three phase thing that takes place in the market each day. So much volume is in there in that first hour, so we try to make sure that we take advantage of it. This past week, we've kind of been getting the opposite. It's been more volume in the afternoon instead of the first hour, but we stayed away from it and we only took beautiful setups that led to profits. So Yeah, I mean, this could very much be your reality, brother. Like, just lock in. You know what I mean? One and done. We don't. I don't like to be in the market too long either. I like to get my money and go, do something peaceful. You know what I mean? Let's see. I try to ride the high volume, and most of the money is made around those times. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Like I said, when I drop this video, you're going. This video, it might be the last video you need to watch. I'm gonna be real. It speaks to everything that happens in the market. And if you don't know that these things are part of the market inherently, you could be losing just because you don't know these things. And again, when you take a course and you learn some stuff, there's always going to be something that's missing from that because a lot of people just may not even know it themselves, or they may not think about it in the moment of creation to like put it in there. That's the reason that our course is ever evolving and we're constantly adding stuff to it because there might have been something that we didn't think about in the moment or something that we realize is, make something that we said, even like work even better. All right. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. But in case anyone is interested, I use trendline pivots by QuantView. It draws the trend line on all the time frames. Perfect. Perfect. All right. We talk about trend lines all the time on here, y'all. It's critical. So if there's something that makes it a little bit easier, why not go for it? Appreciate you sharing it. All right, but y'all know the trend line is the friend line. So anytime you making a decision about something, that trend line needs to be present. All right, it's gonna keep you there. Is that what they mean by imbalance? I'm not sure what it means. Yeah, imbalance, inefficiency, like a lot of these things are just words that explain like an irrational move, right? A fair value gap, like something moving irrationally. So, all right, I made a post in the group earlier today talking about words that start with con, right? So, contract is two people coming together at an agreed upon price, right? A console, right? Like a gaming console is two people playing a game, and they're coming together with this central processing unit, right? Called the gaming console, right? It's a computer essentially that is the central place that you guys are both getting your signals from. All right. Consolidate is when there's a coming together of contracts, meaning they're very close in price, which is keeping the stock price in a very, very tight range, which is causing the contracts to also stay in a tight range, effectively like causing you to lose money because of theta over time. Not a good place to hang up. All right. So when you think about like consolidation, right? You think about like that contract like tightening. This this is like this is when something is not moving like efficient, right? When we see normal movement, that's when contracts are in a decent distance of each other price wise, right? When we see contracts jumping and prices jumping, right, in a short period of time, that creates an inefficiency or imbalance because now there's a gap between the price that buyers are willing to buy and that sellers are willing to sell because of this quick movement. So, in order for the market to come back to like a homeostasis or a balance, right, it has to fall into that fair value gap or that imbalance or that inefficiency to come back to normal, right? So, anything, I mean, there's so many analogies I can use and so many examples I can use of something that just kind of like goes off the rail for a little bit, but then it comes back, right? Like, I don't know, you in a car and like you trying to get around somebody, right? You gotta hit the acceleration button, but then once you get around them, you might get into your lane, you might cool out for a little bit, right? Somebody playing ball might have a hot hand for a little bit, but they're not going to be hot forever. Maybe for the game, but nobody's hot every single day. Maybe Curry, I don't know, but you get the picture. It's just like whenever something is outside of the realm of its normal behavior, it creates some sort of imbalance in the market, and the market has to come back and correct it. All right, Ash Cash, what up? What up? Yeah, nah, I'm not on the chart right now. I know that. I know you just seeing the black screen right now. I'm not on the charts. I'm just talking. Phoenix, how you feeling? You said so the previous fair value gap on that on that stick can affect its movement absolutely. A fair value gap, so instead of y'all having like rigid support and resistances, like use order blocks and fair value gaps. Decisions are being made in and around them, right? In the fair value gaps, in the order blocks, and around them, top and bottom of it. That's where all the decisions that are being made that are going to make you the most money are taking place. Anything outside of that is a random trade. Straight up. Miss Fruitful, how you feeling? Good to see you. Hey, Miss Fruitful, my weekend has been beautiful. Thank you for asking. How was yours? Yeah, I'm not showing anything but the black screen right now. Yep, I'm not going over charts. I got y'all. I'm just talking right now. All right, I'm just talking. Hold on, but y'all, hold on. When y'all saying y'all can't see me at all? Oh nah. I thought you were saying you just can't see the chart. Hold on. Why they doing that? All right, y'all. Hold on. Man, hold on, y'all. Hold on. We gotta get this situated. Hold up. I think it's Can y'all see me now? Y'all can see me? He said it just came on. Why is the screen blank? Said don't hide from us now. And hey, my bad. I ain't mean to go dark on y'all, man. But y'all can see me now. All right, cool. All right, that's all that matters. I see. We good. All right. All right. Your boy is back. All right. So yeah, that's essentially what I was saying was just these imbalances and all that stuff. They come from like irrational moves. All right. So whenever something does not act how it normally acts, it creates a situation in the market like a gap or a fair value gap that the market at some point does need to come back and clean up or correct. All right. Simply put, she, hey, hey, Dr. Natalie, that was a good one. That was a good one. I ain't gonna lie. She said, "Don't gatekeep your face." That is hilarious. That is hilarious. All right, all right. What else y'all want to see? What else? What other stocks would y'all like me to go over? What y'all got for me? Yeah, that was good, right? She said, "Don't gatekeep your face." That was funny. So the previous fair value gap will always have an effect on. Yeah. So whenever, all right. So you have bullish fair value gaps and you have bearish fair value gaps. The only difference is that a bullish fair value gap is created from a strong move upward, and a bearish fair value gap is from a strong move downward, right? So it's a three candle sequence, right? Candle one having a wick, and then candle three's bottom wick. So candle three's bottom wick and candle one's top wick in a three candle sequence of a bullish movement creates a bullish fair value gap between those two wicks, right? So that space or that inefficiency in that second candle is where the fair value gap is, and the same for for a bearish fair value gap. right? So when a bullish fair value gap is created, it's going to be a bearish movement that closes it or approaches it, right? So it's puts that approach or close a bullish fair value gap. It's calls that's going to get you to the bearish or the bearish top, the top of the bearish fair value gap or into that bearish fair value gap. All right, the stock is usually going to find its way to that again, and the way that it moves is first it wants to test the fair value gap, so the top or the bottom. Then it wants to go 50% of the way through the fair value gap, and then it wants to completely close the fair value. All right, so this is how we determine how long we stay in certain trades that we are taking to the fair value gaps. All right, usually that first target, if there's a distance between that support or resistance that you entered and the start of a fair value gap, like the top or the bottom of that fair value gap, depending on which way you're coming in, is where you want to take profits first, because that's where a major decision is going to be made. A lot of people may enter into trades off of fair value gaps. All right. So you said, "Oh my God, did I miss it? I didn't get notified." No. I mean, you missed quite a bit, Subsistence. We went over, the 3 stocks that I got picked for the week. I also went over like 2, from the crew here, but I'm still allowing people to submit, what stocks they want analyzed, and I'm gonna jump back into that in a second. Amani says, "Sell, can you clarify by going over the red fair value gaps and green fair? Do they act bullish or bearish?" All right, how about this? It's probably a lot easier for me to just give you the full example using it. All right, so let's make this bigger, right? All right, this is a prime example right here, just using PANW. All right, so this first fair value gap, and when I say first, I mean first from this move right here. So the first one, if we were going to a downward direction, this would be the first one that we would encounter, okay? So since we have a fail to up using the strat method right here, it looks like this stock wants to reverse. So what do we usually wait for on a reversal? We wait for a confirmation in that direction. So what we would want to see on this is a bearish confirmation, which would simply just mean a lower low and a lower high, right? So if we got a bearish confirmation, then that would tell us like, hey, this wants to spend at least a day or two coming down to find its first target. So that first target would be the top of this fair value gap, right? It'll be the top of this fair value gap. Here's how you know that decisions are made at the top or bottom of fair value gaps. Look here. The bottom of this fair value gap right here has been touched multiple times. See? And it came 50% of the fair value gap once, in which it failed, and it doing that caused it to fall even harder, right? So the reason that you take profit, so if I were to get into, if we got a confirmation, candle right here, right? So say Monday we got a bearish confirmation and we took swings, I would get out of the trade right about here at 161.50, which is the top of the fair value gap, possibly even sooner than that, because it's around there that a lot of decisions are going to be being made. So if we have buyers entering at this level, it could ruin the profits that you got when you could have just easily took them knowing that a decision was going to be made right now. If it decides that it wants to break into the fair value gap, then you could re-enter. This fair value gap is not large enough for me to want to re-enter on it, but if it broke through it, then I think that this space right here is wide enough for me to want to enter and ride down to the next decision, which would be at the top of this fair value. Okay, so the red fair value gaps are bearish fair value gaps, and the green ones are bullish fair value gaps. They both act the exact same. The only difference is the stock going up is what cleans up a bearish fair value gap. The stock going down is what cleans up a bullish fair value gap. All right, so puts are going to clean these up. Calls clean up these. These ones over here that take up the whole page, right? These are order blocks, bearish order blocks. These green ones right here, right? Bullish order blocks. What the 4 have in common, bullish order blocks, bearish order blocks, bullish fair value gaps, bearish fair value gaps, is that decisions are made in and around all of these. So when I say in, I mean like in the midst of this, order block, in the midst of this order block, or at the start of this order block, at the start of this order block, at the start of this fair value gap, right? At the start of this fair value gap, at the start of this fair value gap, at the end of this fair value gap, at the middle of this fair value gap, right? Those are the places that decisions are being made, right? This is if you just go back and study all charts and you have your fair value gaps on, you have your order blocks on, you can just observe the history of how the stocks interact in those areas, and you'll find the most touches take place at 50% in and a complete fill. All right, so the start of it, the middle of it, and the end of it. Same for order blocks, same for fair value gaps. That making sense to y'all? Somebody drop your boy a like for that one. Black Pearl, how you feeling? How you feeling? All right, let's go look at BMNR real quick. So BMNR, I believe that's like Ethereum, right? An Ethereum stock, yeah, Bitmine. All right. Yeah, so Bitmine appears to be consolidating, just like a lot of crypto, right? We've seen, but look, y'all, this is the good news. This is the good news. All right, y'all lean in for a second. This is the good news. Let me actually take this off. I won't forget to switch back. This is the good news. All right, crypto has been consolidating for quite some time, right? Some weeks. I mean, really, it's been trending down and then it's been consolidating. As you all know, when something trends and then it consolidates, there's another, not just move, but big move on the other side of that. Now, we don't know how long this consolidation will continue, but once we get a break outside of the range of consolidation, you can bet your bottom dollar that this thing is about to move, okay? For those who, have, a strong belief in crypto, we're hoping that that break is to the upside. All right, but we are not going to touch anything in this space. Let me flip back. All right, so y'all don't curse me out. We're not going to touch anything in this space until it breaks out of this range. So just a quick eyeball, we can see that over the past 3 weeks, crypto, or BMNR, right, which is crypto, a crypto stock, is in this tight range has been for the past 3 weeks, between $17 and $22. Just consolidate. That's it. Not doing much. But when we do break out of this bullish order block, look at all these fair value gaps that it has to come and fill, right? Its next resistance, right? Its next major resistance is not until $33 on BMNR. All right, so what I would be waiting for with this is either a break down to a break of this range to the downside, or a break of this range to the upside. A break of this range to the downside, I would actually extend it a little bit beyond the range, because if it breaks out of here, it's still in this order block, which we could just be finding like liquidity, right? So there might be like a lot of stop losses like sitting below this swing low right here. And, we can have institutions come and knock those people out their positions and then get into it. And then we go back up to the upside. So I really wouldn't even be thinking about the downside until we completely broke below 1240 in terms of BMNR. But if we can get above about 2347, Pluto. All right. All these fair value gaps right here, multiple targets that we can aim for, and get plenty of profits on intraday trades and swings. All right. So again, once we come out of this consolidation, gear up, because it's gonna be some pretty solid movements in this space. All right. And again, this is matching up with Ethereum, Bitcoin. They're all doing the same thing, right? We're just in this position of the consolidation. We also have FOMC this week. We got Fed decision being made, big time. Right? This is going to heavily impact the direction of a lot of stuff, especially, a secondary asset class like crypto. All right. Okay. Yep. You said hut 8 looks like a bear flag. Yep, that makes a ton of sense. Absolutely. You're very welcome, Dr. Natalie. Looks like a bear flag like that. Yeah, I'll check out hut 8 in Nike for sure. I got y'all. Like things that make sense is understanding which one supports my trade thesis. Just need to clarify. No, absolutely. Yeah, we'll look at Netflix as well. So I'll go look at Nike, Netflix, and Hut 8, and we'll see what's to come of those. Grab on a daily above 3.5. Which one are you talking about? Which stock are you talking about, Tony? All right. All right. So let's go to let's do Hut 8 first. We'll do Hut 8. Hut 8. Yeah, this was one of my early calls last year, and this thing has just been sailing ever since, man. We was on this at like $14, and it's all the way up here at 48. Um, yeah, yeah. This looks good. This is fell two up on Hut 8. Um, let's look at the weekly. Yeah, the weekly looks like it might want to come up this week, but the daily is saying that it might have one down day. We gotta really just see how this thing opens. Again, I don't get too when it comes to crypto stocks. I look at the technicals for sure. The technicals are always going to tell you what's going on, but I'm more focused on the crypto itself for the technical, right? This is more of a lagging indicator, the same way that indexes are a lagging indicator of the performance of the stocks in which they own. All right. So for this, you know, yeah, it's going to show us, just kind of like a, similar thing that is happening in crypto, but sometimes it's a little off. So this could come down a little bit into this bullish order block, but I would not be too I wouldn't be too quick to get into a bearish call on this stock, even though it's flashing bearish, right? Um, I mean, we can always do what I love to do most, which is draw the trend line, to get a better understanding of the trajectory. So 2 points, bring it down to the order block. Yep, that give you a nice little understanding of what's going on. So yeah, we could play it like that. If we bounce here and we can you know get some sort of like bullish confirmation, then we got this fair value gap up here that needs to get filled. But again, this trend line is very near. So if it could consolidate a little bit more or do a range bound kind of thing where it goes up to the trend line and rejects and stuff like that, I would like to corner this stock, right? I call a trend line and a order block coming together like that's cornering the stock, because that's typically when it wants to make a serious move. It happened with Netflix. It happened with so many plays that we caught breaking out of that trend line. So if we can continue to get this same pattern and we can corner it down here, once we get the bounce out of this order block and then a confirmation outside this trend line, Pluto. All right. So yeah, Hut 8. I'll be watching for it, but there's nothing immediate there right now. But again, crypto can just take off out of nowhere if the sentiments about the economy are solid. Okay, so we do want to keep that in mind too. But we're not going to guess anything. We're just going to wait and see what happens. Also, it's low key a double bottom, right? So if you look at this, came here, made a bottom, came up, retested the trend line, came down, made a bottom, failed 2D. It's still holding the structure of the failed 2D. Even though this is a failed 2 up right here, this is still in the structure of completing that double bottom. So we could be going through the trend line soon, right? We might not even have to corner it. It might start going through the trend line this week, depending on what the news is like. All right, so that's another thing. Always be looking for those patterns too, right? That's a double bottom right there. All right. All right, again, y'all hit that like button for your boy. Grab Holdings. Grab. Oh, you saying grab is the stock? Okay, appreciate it. Yeah, it was lowercase, so I wasn't quite sure what that was. Okay, grab is the stock. I got you. All right. You got the friend line on it. There we go. That's all you need is the friend line, man. All right, let's look at Nike. Let's look at Nike. Yeah, Nike gonna be fire when it finally does what it's supposed to do. But it's been in this downtrend for a very very long time. Um, starting to slow. I said slow. Starting to show slight signs of slowing down with this inverted hammer that we have right here. So we could start to see a little bit of a push up. But again, man, I'm not front running something that's been coming down for months. Like I need true confirmation, not just like a little. Because I don't, these little moves right here, it could pull back, it could form a bear flag. I, those are cool moves. Those are cute little moves, right? The real move is the breakout. So I'm cool trading other stocks that move better than Nike on a daily basis, and just waiting for Nike to break out the trend line. So just for future reference, y'all, Nike could come up and fill some of these fair value gaps, right? But that true move is going to be when it break out the trend line. So if y'all ask me for updates on Nike, I'm gonna tell you the same thing every time. I'm not really interested in it until the trend line breaks. Now, again, we could corner this thing by it coming down to about here, right? Somewhere around 50, right? We come and we in that little intersection between the trend line and the in the order block, and we get some sort of bouncing confirmation. That's when we can really bank on Nike. So again, y'all, I love seeing something early, and then we just kind of just sit back and watch it, and then when it's right up on us, we strike. All right, so that's what Nike is. Keep Nike on your radar. Keep watching it. Right. Set your notifications for different breakout points and stuff like that. But do not get too excited to the point that you like, man, I'm just gonna get in that. Like, there's no need for that. All right. All right. Appreciate it, Miss Fruitful. All right, so we got Netflix for Dr. Natalie's asking about Netflix. Let's see. Yeah. Um, yeah, Netflix is looking like it wants to go and retest this level on a bull flag. I thought I had the bull flag drawn on here already. I don't know why that's not showing up. That's interesting. Oh yeah, okay, it's drawn. I'm like, I'm not. I knew I had it on here. So yeah, the bull flag is on there. When we get the break out of it, um, when we get the break out of that bull flag, you know what? I'm not really feeling how this is drawn. I like to be precise. I like to have parallel lines. I don't like to try to force. Um, so again, we just need two points. That's what it's more like that. So yeah, so once we can break out of this bull flag, then immediately we could go to 101, and then maybe even the top of the order block if it starts to break into it. But um, matter of fact, let me just do a measured move. Measured bull flag. We can take the distance of this flagpole. Let me get this out of here. Take the distance of this flagpole, come down to the low of the pole right there. Perfect. And then we're going to just take it and we're going to drag it. We're going to drag it to the breakout of the of the bull flag. All right. So say we break out tomorrow or Tuesday or something, we could see Netflix do a silly move and look where it takes you, right up to that next bearish order block. Again, it doesn't mean that that's going to happen this week or next week. Like, it's just showing you where it ultimately wants to go in this next wave up. So if this indeed is a confirmed pullback and we continue, this is where we can see it go before we get any sort of major pullback to the downside. All right. So, so yeah, Netflix looks good. And again, y'all, you got to think we're still breaking out, right? Breakout, there are pullbacks in the midst of breakouts. So we're breaking out, but this is a pullback. It's retesting this level. But you got to remember, y'all, we talked like Netflix fell. It fell from a high place, right? It fell from all the way up here. It's not even 50% of the way back to retrace highs, right? About here would be about 50% of the way. So there's still, quite a bit of a move on it before it's even halfway retraced. And once it retraces and breaks highs, then it can go even, so it can go even crazier. So people, owning equity in Netflix is a great idea. And just leaving that, letting it, just sit. But in terms of like trading this again, we just got to see what it does tomorrow, what the price action looks like. But at minimum, you could take it to about 101 if we get confirmation to the upside. All right. Nah, for sure, Miss Fruitful. You already know. All right, let's see grab real quick. Let's see grab. Grab, that's a funny name for a stock. Grab holding. Precisely. Yep. You said it. You said it, Tony. Like at 350. Yep. Right around that 354 area. Yep. Yeah, we get down there. That could be a really good grab. No pun intended. But that'll be a great place to grab it. Um, yeah, right around that 354. Again, we would just need to see some sort of like reversal confirmation. So we get the reversal signal and then a confirmation, and then that could be nice. But also, like I said, I'm never going to look at a downtrend and not draw that friend line. All right. So y'all know what we got to do. Y'all know what we got to do on grab. Y'all know what we got to do on grab. Trend line, front line. Actually, this is what I'll do. Let's see where we start here. That looks more. That's about right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we get in this little area right here. That'd be wonderful. But yeah, whenever we can break the trend line on that, that'll be great. Also, there is enough space between here and the trend line for a decent pullback. So if we do get a reversal signal and confirmation here, this is one that I would take at the order block before it breaks through the trend line, since that slope is what it is, right? We got a lot of distance between a retesting of the trend line. So if it came down here first, right, I would be okay with taking it. So yeah, that's a solid setup right there. Solid, solid. Again, as y'all come in, man, just doop, hit that like button for me one time, all right? All right, so we've gone through, a substantial amount. Are there any other stocks that y'all want to see? Any other stocks that y'all want to see before I get up out of here? Let leave y'all till y'all Sunday. I know y'all got some preparation to do. Cause listen, I gotta say this too, right? Let me come back. And if you in the prosperity collective, man, like talk to the people, right? The weather's changing, right? It's about to be spring. You're about to be feeling yourself, and you're possibly going to enter that first stage of getting off of your consistency, getting off of your grind, getting off of the vision that you had for yourself for the year. Because now you're so engulfed in just like feeling good and doing whatever. And when it get hot, it's just now you just back into this loop of like just losing focus. All right. As we go into this spring, I want everybody to refocus, right? Go look at those goals again. Go look at that idea of who you are becoming again and make sure that you realign with it. All right. If you're new and you're not parked in a community that cares about you and wants to see you win, you're doing yourself a disservice. All right. So I'm inviting you, right? Anybody who has not been in the Prosperity Collective, I'm inviting you to hit the link in the description of not just this live and all my other lives and all my other videos. Hit the link. Go read what people are saying. Take a few moments and really just scour through, right? Plow through what's being said. If it resonates with you, it is time to make a decision for yourself to come and join what I believe is the realest trading community out there right? We ain't ran a single ad. And for some reason, the right people just continue to find us. If you found yourself on this live, and that's been something that's been on your heart, right? You've been trying to find the right home, and this resonates, well, you know what to do from there. If not, maybe keep watching. But one thing that I will tell you is that procrastination always is expensive. When you know something in your heart and in your gut to do, and you do not take action on that, you do not do it, it usually gets more expensive. Sometimes it can be in the form of money, like the literal price might be more, or because you waited so long, it's going to be more of a sacrifice, a greater effort, something else that you may have to cut off or navigate to be able to lock into this thing. So let's make it a habit of when we get an inkling to do something that we know is right, that divine guidance that we've been waiting for, we go act on it immediately. That goes for people that's new, and that goes for people that are already in the TPC. All right? Let's see what y'all talking about. You can ask me everything. I've been over here over a year, and I'm doing much better in my life. Yep. I'm telling you, talk to him. Talk to him. All right? But yeah, you'll get it. You'll get it when you're supposed to get it. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody that's there is supposed to be there. If it hasn't resonated yet, maybe it's just not time yet. But when it does, you'll know, and you'll be in there, and you're gonna go. All right. So we got we got quite a bit. I would say about 6 out the way. Let's say Circle and MU. I'll do those. Let's get back to that. Let me cut this camera on. Alrighty. Let's do Circle Internet Group. Okay. So Circle Internet Group is looking like it's bouncing off of the top of this bullish fair value gap. Let's come in a little closer to we can make sure we can lock in. It has a fail to up, but it is bouncing off of this fair value gap. Come on, computer. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, so it has a fail to up right here, but it does appear to be bouncing off the top of this fair value gap. Again, y'all, just to reiterate and to drive the message home, do y'all see how a decision is being made here at the top of this fair value gap, right? Before it pierces the fair value gap and goes to close it partially or fully, it hesitates. And this is like clockwork, y'all. This is why I'm telling y'all, this is where you're making a decision to get in or get out of a trade, right? Anything else is randomness. I'm trying to tell you how to be on the side of money, not the side of losing money, right? You want to get in when decisions are being made. You want to get out when decisions are being made. That simple. All right. So right here, decisions being made. It looks like we could possibly come down, tomorrow, but we will have to wait for that confirmation. What I would like to see is if it holds this fair value gap here, like if we get we get bearish tomorrow and then it comes and it partially fills and then it fills, by Tuesday, this could just be a bull flag, right? And then we could find ourselves wanting to go higher. But again, we'll have to evaluate that as that price action, shows up, right? Right now, there's not enough information to make a decision about this stock and where it's going to go. Yes, it is starting to signal that it wants to come down, but we got to get a little bit more confirmation to see. All right, but this fair value gap, there's going to be a lot of decisions being made here. Again, once we see it start closing a little bit, then we'll have a better idea of what it ultimately wants to do. When it gets to the end of this, it's going to show some sort of reversal or continuation sign, and from there we'll follow. If it wants to continue downward, then we could take it to the top of this next fair value gap as a target. If it wants to go upward, we'll just simply draw the bull flag and then measure out what the next move is. Okay? So that's circle. MU. MU. Again, y'all hit me with a doop one time. Let's see. Doop. Somebody come on this. If somebody come on this live and they just hear me saying doop, they're gonna be like, "Yo, who is this guy?" They'll be like, "I think there might be something wrong with this dude." If you know, you know though. Yeah. So we talked about this last week, right? Like, MU has been doing extremely well. It just completed this double bottom pattern. So we're not fully completed it yet, but it's damn near complete. Once it gets back to retest this high, that's a full double bottom. So we got the a full W pattern. All right. So it could continue, right? It could continue, right? It came right here, pulled back in the fair value gap. Typically, when you get a pullback, you can get like 2 to 3 sessions in that same direction. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was green again tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if we were literally bullish up to about 453. All right. So in terms of MU, I would just be watching for opportunities to get in bullish plays. You got to watch the price action on intraday. But again, this is trying to complete a double bottom, right? Which is by going back to retrace the high. So yeah, we just gotta wait and see. Like I said, it did its pullback thing right here, so we could get 2 or 3 more days of it just going up. So I would definitely if it's down a little bit in the morning tomorrow, I would definitely take it on the break of previous day highs. All right. He said that's Bobby Digital. You already know. How long would you wait for the confirmation? A day? So the confirmation is just whatever the session is. So if I'm looking at it on the daily for swings, then I need to see a daily confirmation. Meaning, if we get a reversal signal on the day, I need to see a close of a bullish confirmation, which is simply the closing of a candle that has a higher high and a higher low. Now, if I wanted to take this swing and take advantage of it and not enter it too late, I would just simply enter within the last 10 to 15 minutes of the market, because by that time you can predict what the candle closing is going to be, as typically it won't change too much in that last 10 minutes. All right. Now, if we're talking about an hour out, I done seen candles go from being a 3 bar bullish candle to being something like a inverted hammer, which can be sending you in a totally different direction. So it's important to let the time go by and then make smart decisions in that last little bit of time in the market. But you do want to let the session close fully. The only one that you don't let close fully is the daily, because if you want to take advantage of it, you would need to enter that day. Like you couldn't go in and enter in the next candle, because that would be the next day. But if if you want a 15-minute and you get that confirmation, you can wait to the next candle and then just enter, based off of price action. All right. All right, y'all. It's been real. It's been real. I feel like we covered, quite a bit. We went over the three stocks that I'm looking to enter in this week, which are Google, Nvidia, and Tesla. All right. If those do what they're supposed to do, they could be really big paydays. Appreciate you all submitting the ones that you submitted. I feel like y'all also gave me some insight to ones to look to, because there could be some really good opportunities. Grab is one. Nike, as you all know, we're continuing to watch, right? So, MU might even have some some room to go up this week. So we got some good stuff on the table. All right. All we got to do is just make sure that we're staying patient, reading price action, and only taking the best setups. All right. It's too much amazing opportunities, right? Too many amazing opportunities in the market to settle for something that's just okay, right? We don't do that. Not in the prosperity collective. All right. So we're taking less trades, better quality, and we're nailing it. If it's not showing us what we want, we're not trying to force the market's hand. We laying back and we letting it come to us. Right? That's why I always say, stop chasing. All right? Let it come to you. That should be the other part of stop chasing. Stop chasing and let it come to you. All right? Yeah, it's been real. Y'all go have a beautiful Sunday. Enjoy yourselves. Get some rest. I'll be back here bright and early tomorrow for for TPC, back here at 11:30 for live to update any changes to the swing that we may be in, or anything that we may be looking to enter. All right. Blessings to y'all. And remember, invest smart so you can live free. And I'll see you in the next one.